KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. What?
That's right, folks. It's KP's Video News, y'all. Yep, I've been telling you who it is. KP's Video News, man. 5-alarm. 5-alarm fire. Telling you, man. These cats out here acting a fool. Acting a total fool. And you had anyway, what I need you to do is I need you to hit that subscription button, hit that like button, leave a comment, and I need you to hit that notification bell thing that looks like a little bell up there in the corner. Hit that notification bell so you can get notified anytime I have any new videos that come out. And, so you can stay on top of this KP's Video News. Got to stay on top of it, y'all, because I'm coming with the real, coming with the raw. Okay, so here's what we had. We had in the city of Decatur, Alabama, three police officers were fired in connection with a fatal shooting of a black man outside of his home. Yep. So, let's see. They were terminated in connection with the fatal shooting of Steve Perkins outside of his residence during a confrontation with a tow truck driver. And Mayor Tab Bowling announced the decision on December 7th, followed personnel hearings refraining from disclosing the Alabama officers' names or specific reasons for their dismissal. A fourth officer was also suspended. And the city's police chief had previously stated that the shooting violated departmental policies. However, the ongoing review by the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency will determine if criminal charges are warranted or if the officers acted within the bounds of the law. The shooting, which occurred on September 29th, claimed the life of 39-year-old Steve Perkins when officers accompanied a tow truck driver attempting to repossess Perkins' truck. In a statement, the Perkins family acknowledged the dismissal as a step in the right direction, but emphasized the need for further action. Nicholas Perkins, speaking on behalf of the family, expressed dissatisfaction, stating 3 officers being fired and 1 being suspended is no comparison to losing a brother and his wife losing her husband and a mom losing a son. It's just not justified. They want these officers prosecuted. And the incident captured on a neighbor's home surveillance camera and published in the media showed the tow truck backing into the driveway as Perkins emerged from his house. Officers ran out shouting commands, and multiple shots were rapidly fired. Regular protests have ensued in Decatur, with demonstrators demanding answers and accountability. The Perkins family disputes the initial police account as evidenced by the neighbor's video and asserts that the truck payments were up to date. Decatur Police Chief Todd Pinion issued a public apology in October for providing inaccurate information. Initially, he clarified his officers did not instruct Perkins to drop his weapon, but instead told him to get on the ground. Pinion, along with the mayor, personally delivered the news of the dismissal to the Perkins family and affirmed a commitment to preventing such incidents in the future, stating, "I will pledge to take action to ensure something like this never happens in Decatur ever again." And that process has begun in earnest. So here you have a guy that lost his life over a piece of material, over a car. Lost his life over a car that was supposedly being repossessed. And according to the family, allegedly the car was up to date. The payments were up to date, so he shouldn't have been there trying to come to pick it up in the first place. Yep. Yeah. So here's another story, and this one is coming out of let's see, I believe Atlanta, Georgia, and basically happening all over the country. Okay, here's what the deal is. Total abuse of rights. The FBI agent seized high-priced jewelry, $86 million in cash from innocent people in questionable raid. The FBI raid, which with tens of millions in cash, jewelry, and other valuables, was seized from security boxes, and lenders are being criticized as an egregious case of civil asset forfeiture after those lenders weren't charged with the crime. And the seizure happened at a safety deposit box business called U.S. Private Vaults in March of 2021. So I believe this happened in California, if I'm not mistaken. It might have happened in Beverly Hills, I believe. And after securing a warrant from a judge, the FBI took roughly $86 million in cash, as well as some Cartier bracelets and Rolex watches. And the business owner ended up pleading guilty to money laundering, the business owner, but not the people. However, the safe deposit box holders, who were patrons of the business, weren't accused or charged of a crime. Additionally, the warrant agents secured only authorized the seizure of business computers, money counters, and surveillance equipment. The FBI never let the judge in on their plans to take the money or other belongings worth more than $5,000. So now several individuals are accusing the agency of putting the cart well before the horse and seizing their valuables without probable cause. They have filed a class action lawsuit against the federal agency to retrieve their property. And civil asset forfeiture allows law enforcement to take property or cash they believe is connected to a crime, leaving the property owners responsible for proving in court that their belongings have no criminal links. Agents seized about 1,400 deposit boxes used by individuals at federal court documents characterized as unsavory characters to store criminal proceeds. However, the warrant the judge signed off on only allowed agents to seize safety deposit boxes and keys to inspect the content of boxes in an effort to identify their owners so that they can claim their property. The warrant did not authorize a criminal search or seizure of the contents of the safety deposit boxes. Despite that, a federal judge ruled that agents didn't exceed the warrant's parameters, even though attorneys for the plaintiffs demonstrated the government had a dual motive in inventorying the contents of each deposit box. The case was heard in the appeals court this week, and a panel is expected to make a ruling in a few months. And so it's, people have been going through that. So the Institute for Justice reports that in the 2 years since the raid, some of the plaintiffs' belongings have been returned to them, but not everything is accounted for. Attorneys argue that the government violated their clients' Fourth Amendment protection from unreasonable search and seizure and their Fifth Amendment protection from having their property taken without compensation. I think the public sees this and recognize that it's just a total abuse of people's constitutional rights. And that's what attorney Rob Johnson from the Institute of Justice stated. Wow. So they just basically just went in and just took all of these people's merchandise out of their safe deposit boxes without probable cause. Crazy, man. Crazy. Okay. Now this is a weird situation right here. Yep. So investigators say the cop training firm taught illegal tactics. A law enforcement training company that held a summit attended by roughly 1,000 police officers nationwide has been accused of encouraging cops to adopt violent, discriminatory, and unconstitutional behaviors. Investigators with the Office of Acting New Jersey Comptroller Kevin Walsh said the training firm Street Cop, which had held a 2021 conference in Atlantic City, New Jersey, promoted views and tactics that were wildly inappropriate, offensive, discriminatory, harassing, and in some cases likely illegal, according to the report. Walsh's office also called for a separate investigation by the state's Attorney General's office. And the fact that training undermined nearly a decade of police reforms and New Jersey dollars paid for it is outrageous, Walsh said in a public statement. In a 43-page report, Walsh's office detailed how street cop instructors encourage conference attendees to profile drivers, when conducting vehicle stops, noting that many of their recommendations violated directives from the state attorney general and flew in the face of the Fourth Amendment. One instructor reportedly told session participants, "Be the calmest person in the room, but have a plan to kill everyone." Wow. Another boasted that he was batting .500 when shooting people in the line of duty, killing 4 people while shooting in 8 and 13 recorded incidents of excessive force. An Oklahoma sheriff leading one session said, "Sometimes you have to shoot folks," when talking about police officers having an affinity for firearms. Street cop founder Dennis Benigo initially sued to stop Walsh's office from investigating his firm, but lost in court. He told a New Jersey Monitor that he's planned to impose stricter standards on jocular language occasionally used by some instructors in future training sessions, and that some of the comments Walsh officers highlighted in the report were supposedly an attempt at humor. There's not one single instance in the OSC report where we have advocated for any practice of this inconsistent with quality policing. That's what Bonigo said. And Walsh said during a press conference that Street Cop is just one of several firms he wants to investigate, saying systematic risks seem to extend far beyond Street Cop, and Street Cop in this particular training provides an example of what can go wrong and went very wrong there. So they're encouraging cops to discriminate, to profile, use offensive and discriminatory, harass, and use likely illegal tactics, allegedly illegal tactics. Wow. This is where we living at. This is where we are right now. Yep. So you had a New York man who spent 20 years in prison for a double homicide he didn't commit and got exonerated after a new probe reveals a tainted witness had framed him. And Jabbar Walker was sentenced to 50 years to life after being accused of the mid-1990s deaths of Santana Guzman and Ismael de la Cruz. After decades in prison, he was exonerated in Manhattan, New York on November 27th by way of reinvestigation effort by DA Alvin Bragg's office and the Innocence Project. Not only was the case against Jabbar Walker built upon unreliable and recanted testimony, he did not have the benefit of an effective defense attorney, one of the constitutional bedrocks of our criminal justice system. Bragg said in a statement, "Despite these serious issues, Mr. Walker received a sentence that could have kept him in prison for his entire life. Number 3, he can now finally go home. Thanks to the Innocent Project for the steadfast advocacy throughout this matter." In May 1995, victims Guzman and De La Cruz were fatally shot by a perp who was sitting in a double parked vehicle in Manhattan on 148th Street. According to the organization, it was a drug-related hit. An eyewitness stated that the suspect fled into a nearby building. So let's see. The case went cold, was reopened 2 years later following cooperation from a witness identified as Vanessa Vigo. While investigating a separate case, New York detectives asked Vigo if she had any intel on the 1995 double homicide, and she blamed Walker for the crime. The next day, she wrote out a statement claiming Walker fired 2 shots at the victim and was known by the moniker Snoop or Black, which was a smoking gun because they received tips that the shooter used the nickname Black. But reinvestigation into the case revealed that Walker was not known by that nickname. That Vigo was inconsistent with her testimony and that she misidentified people in separate shooting case. Also, according to the organization, the prosecution gave her money for her apartment and for her testimony against Walker. In a handwritten statement, Walker mentioned his alibi the night of shooting, telling police that he was in Queens at the time of the incident and he wasn't even in Manhattan, and returned to the area with his friend the following day. The police did not confirm Walker's whereabouts with the witness who backed his explanation. And according to the Innocence Project, Walker never mentioned going by the name of Black, but Detective facility wrote that he did in his written statement. And the reinvestigation revealed that another witness in the shooting, Carlos Young, told law enforcement that Walker was not behind the incident and that he saw another person carry out the crime. Another identified person, dubbed Mr. Santiago, did not identify him as a shooter and wasn't called as a witness during the trial. Despite this, Walker was accused of a murder for hire plot with De La Cruz as the target, while Guzman was an innocent bystander who got caught in the crossfire. So Walker was offered a plea deal, but he turned it down to go to trial. He told the judge, "I didn't commit the crime, Your Honor, and that's why I came here to trial, because he was 100% innocent and he didn't do it." So he ended up doing 25 years behind bars. So next thing you got to do is go ahead and get your money. Go ahead and get your money, partner. Get paid, because it's time for you to go ahead and get paid, because they took your 25 years of your life away, and it's time for them to, go ahead and do what they have to do. Go ahead and do what they have to do, because it makes no sense for a person to have to lose all of that time for just a frame up job, when all they had to do is hey, do the real detective work. Back in the old days, it was actual real cops out there that did real detective work, not these fake ones out here that's pretending like they cops. They need to stop making them go walk in the beat again. Get them out of those cars and make them walk, and also have them live in the neighborhoods that they serve, and then you'll get a totally different type of policing done. But anyway, it's KP's Video News, y'all. Just trying to get ready for the holidays. All right. So don't forget, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to like, and don't forget to leave a comment. 5 alarm. KP's Video News, y'all. KP's Video News, y'all. KP's Video News.
KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all.